What's going on, everyone? The chaos in Cleveland has reached a fever pitch, and this time, it's not just another disappointing loss. It's an emotional eruption that tells the story of an entire franchise collapsing under the weight of its own dysfunction. Myles Garrett, the unstoppable defensive force of the Cleveland Browns, the man who just set a franchise record with 5 sacks in a single game, finally broke. On that New England sideline, with cameras rolling and emotions boiling over, Garrett ripped off his helmet and hurled it down in frustration, so raw it sent shockwaves through the entire NFL. Imagine this. You're the best player on your team, one of the best in the entire league. You dominate every snap, wreak havoc on every offensive line you face, and pour your heart and soul into every down. You make history, literally, with a record-breaking performance that should go down as one of the greatest defensive efforts ever seen by a Brown. And yet, when the final whistle blows, the scoreboard tells the same old story, another Cleveland loss. That's what happened in Foxborough. Garrett was unstoppable, terrorizing Drake May and the Patriots' offense. But his efforts meant nothing because once again, the Browns' offense couldn't score, couldn't execute, couldn't even show life. When Garrett walked off the field that night, he wasn't just exhausted, he was hollowed out. You could see it in his body language, the slow exhale, the furious eyes, the clenched fists. He reached up, tore off his helmet like it was the source of his agony, and slammed it down with a force that echoed every unspoken thought running through his mind. It wasn't just anger. It was despair. It was the look of a man who's given everything to an organization that keeps letting him down. Myles Garrett's breakdown wasn't about one bad game. It was about all of them. Week after week, he delivers performances that should carry a team to victory, only to watch his offense stall out again and again. Dillon Gabriel, the young quarterback Stefanski keeps defending, looked completely lost in New England. He threw 2 brutal interceptions, each one more soul-crushing than the last. He even gave up a safety, a moment so baffling it made every Browns fan bury their face in their hands. For every sack Garrett recorded, Gabriel answered with a mistake. It was a masterclass in imbalance, one side of the ball performing at an elite level, while the other disintegrated in real time. As Garrett stood on the sideline, helmet gone, eyes locked on the field where his offense was collapsing, the message was clear. He's done watching history slip away. He's tired of carrying a franchise that refuses to carry itself. That helmet throw wasn't just frustration, it was a declaration. Something has to change. After the game, Garrett's words were careful, but if you listened closely, the frustration seeped through. He said he was frustrated and that he just wanted to win. He said he hated standing on the sideline knowing the outcome before it even happened. He hated the inevitability of losing. Beneath those composed answers was a message loud and clear. He's done pretending this is fine. Garrett would trade every single one of those 5 sacks for a win. That's not the kind of statement a player makes when things are okay. That's the sound of someone running out of patience. And then came the comments about Drake May. Garrett praised him, calling him a good man and a great young quarterback. He said it was nice to see someone like that lead his team, help them rebuild, and give their fans something to believe in. On the surface, it sounded like typical post-game sportsmanship, but if you really listened, it was something else, a subtle but undeniable comparison. Garrett was pointing out what Cleveland doesn't have. He sees across the field what true leadership and promise look like, and he knows his team doesn't have that right now. He sees Dillon Gabriel's confusion, indecision, and lack of spark. He sees Shedeur Sanders sitting on the bench with potential untapped. And he's wondering how many more games they have to lose before someone in this organization wakes up. When Garrett said, "We've got to hold everyone's feet to the fire," he wasn't just talking about players. That was a warning shot aimed at everyone, from Kevin Stefanski to the front office. Garrett's too smart to openly blast his coaches, but his message couldn't have been clearer. This team's leadership is failing. The game plans aren't working. The quarterback situation is imploding, and the only people who can fix it are the ones brave enough to admit what's broken. This moment on the sideline, the helmet throw, the glare, the exhaustion, it's more than just a meme or a viral clip for sports talk shows. It's the defining image of Cleveland's season, maybe even their era. It's the moment the fan base felt what Garrett felt, that deep, hopeless ache that comes from watching greatness wasted. Garrett is giving everything he has, but no matter how many records he breaks, no matter how dominant he becomes, it's not enough to overcome bad decisions. conservative play calling, and a quarterback who isn't ready for this stage. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The Browns are playing with fire. Myles Garrett is in his prime. At 29, these are the years that define a legacy. These are the seasons that should end in playoff runs and championship pushes. Instead, Cleveland is wasting them on mediocrity. Every loss chips away at Garrett's faith in the organization. Every press conference filled with hollow excuses pushes him one step closer to wondering if his loyalty is worth it. The Browns front office needs to understand what's at stake, because if they lose Garrett's belief, they don't just lose a player. They lose their identity. Right now, the conversation in NFL circles isn't about whether Garrett deserves Defensive Player of the Year. It's about how much longer he'll tolerate this. How long before he starts asking the same question fans are asking, why hasn't Shedeur Sanders played yet? Why are they sticking with a plan that clearly doesn't work? The tension inside that locker room has to be unbearable because everyone knows the truth. They're not losing because of defense. They're losing because the offense can't do its job, and you can see it in Garrett's demeanor. He's still showing up early, still watching film, still leading by example. But the patience is wearing thin. The frustration is no longer behind closed doors. It's playing out live on national television. His explosion on the sideline was the boiling point. The moment all that professionalism cracked under the pressure of another wasted masterpiece. The Cleveland Browns have a choice to make. And it's one that will define not just this season, but their future as a franchise. They can keep pretending Dillon Gabriel will magically figure it out, keep running the same broken offense, keep making the same excuses, or they can face the truth. They can hand the reins to Shedeur Sanders, inject some life into this team, and show Garrett and every other player in that locker room that they're serious about winning. Because if they don't, the next time Garrett throws that helmet, it might not just be out of frustration. It might be his breaking point with Cleveland altogether. This is the moment where great franchises either collapse or evolve. For years, the Browns have been the team that almost figured it out. The team that flashes potential only to crumble when it matters most. But this is different. This is the kind of internal implosion that can destroy a locker room or ignite a revolution. Garrett's meltdown might be the warning shot they needed to finally wake up and make real change before it's too late. If Cleveland ignores this message, if they waste another game, another season, another year of Myles Garrett's prime, they won't just lose games, they'll lose their soul. So what do you think? Has Myles Garrett finally reached his breaking point? Should the Browns bench Dillon Gabriel and give Shedeur Sanders the shot he deserves? Let me know what you think in the comments below.